Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. I'm Dr. P, a board certified OBGYN, and today we're talking about, do fibroids cause hormonal imbalance? And so in this video today, we're going to address what exactly are fibroids. We'll talk about the connection between fibroids and hormonal balance. We'll discuss the impact of hormonal balance on fibroids. And lastly, we will talk about what you can do about it. All right, so we are here to talk about fibroids and hormonal imbalance. These are two things that can affect the average female during her reproductive years. Fibroids have been known to affect up to 70% of females during their reproductive years. That's a lot. That means if you're watching this video, chances are you either have a fibroid or will develop one. If not, you could potentially even have plenty of fibroids. So let's talk about what fibroids are. Fibroids are physical structures. They're growths that happen inside of your uterus. Fibroids can be as small as a grain of rice and can be as large as a cantaloupe or a melon. That's pretty large. On average, I'm gonna say that most fibroids are somewhere around this size, but they can be anywhere inside of your uterus or on top of your uterus. And so let me show you what I mean by that. So this is IV. IV is enlarged, okay? Normally, your uterus is not this big. And so this is the uterus here. The bottom part of your uterus is your cervix. Attached like arms at the top of your uterus are your fallopian tubes. And then these purple things are really representing your ovaries. And so fibroids can be on top of your uterus at any location, the front, the back. I'll tell you that most people who have fibroids have more than one. Oftentimes, if we do a fibroid surgery, we can remove up to 20 fibroids at a time. And so oftentimes you have plenty, but because I only have one hand to show you this right now, I want you to know that they can hang off of your uterus, similar to how it is here, or they can be embedded inside the physical structure of your uterus. Now, fibroids oftentimes are labeled in one of four types. The first is a submucosal fibroid. These are fibroids that are on the inner inside location of your uterus, deep on the inside. A fibroid can be intramural, which is the muscle layer of your uterus. They can be on top of the uterus, like I just showed you. Those are called subserosal fibroids. Or they can hang off on a stalk, which is called a pedunculated fibroid. Regardless of where the fibroids are, fibroids can cause symptoms such as irregular period, or bleeding, I should say, which often happens with those that are most on the inside or the submucosal fibroids. Some may cause abdominal pain, especially with your cycles, and this can happen mostly with those that are in the muscle layer or the intramural fibroids. The fibroids that are on top of the uterus, on the outer parts of the uterus, or hanging off of the uterus, oftentimes do not cause problems when it comes to bleeding or pain. They're just there. But considering that fibroids can be really large, some can be as large as a baby's head. Fibroids can make you feel bloated. They can physically cause problems with your bladder. They can cause problems with your bowels, like constipation, because they physically are pushing against the other organs in your pelvis. Now, if you have fibroids, you may be wondering where they came from. And believe it or not, we still do not have a good enough answer for this question. We know that they love hormones. We know that they like our estrogens. They love our progesterones. They are hormonal structures. And so when we're in a hormonal state from puberty to menopause, the likelihood of them growing from year to year increases over time. And so think about this. If you are in your 40s and you've been exposed to the estrogens and progesterones that came with puberty for maybe 20 years, these fibroids have been growing over 20 years. And then when you get to the age of 50, that number is increased by another 10 years. Most people will have about 40 fertile years in their lives. And so these are 40 years of hormonal exposure for fibroids. And during that time frame, they'll continue to grow. Research has shown that after menopause, when your hormones are reduced in your body, fibroids will shrink. So our question today is, well, do these fibroids cause hormonal imbalance? And so I'd like for us to actually flip that question around a bit. The way that I think that we should ask it is, does hormonal imbalance cause fibroids? Because the answer to that question is yes. Being in a state of having hormonal flux, having hormonal chaos, will absolutely lead to fibroid formation and fibroid growth. And what I can tell you is that even from my own experience, is that you can be in a state of being balanced. Regular cycles, no issues with acne, no issues with mood changes, body is optimally functioning, and you're in a good place. And you can have a year where you have extreme stress. You've changed your habits so that you're not eating healthily anymore. You are not exercising as much as you normally would, which leads to hormonal imbalance, the creation of fibroids. And so it only takes a short bit of time where your body becomes imbalanced for this fibroid development to begin. Once fibroids have developed, they'll continue to grow about 1 to 2 centimeters per year. So think about this. If you've had fibroids for 10 years, they potentially can get as big as 10 centimeters, which is the same size as a baby's head. If you've had them for 5 years, the same. And if you have multiple fibroids, I can tell you that there are times that I've removed fibroids and the uterus was so enlarged by so many fibroids, you would think that someone is pregnant. It is very true and very possible. And so fibroids love hormones. Again, this is the reason that after menopause, fibroids typically tend to shrink. So now, while I mentioned switching the question around, if we do leave the question the same, do fibroids cause hormonal imbalance? The answer to that specific question is that fibroids may continue a hormonal imbalance inside of your body. They're formed because of a hormonal issue, and they can continue this almost like a domino effect as you continue to live through your hormonal years. I hope this information makes sense. Listen, if you have any further questions, please drop a comment below. I do read them all. And I'd like to offer you a deeply discounted access to my hormone assessment. This assessment will break down and dig deeply into your hormonal lifestyle to determine if you have a hormone imbalance. And with that, I will give you a personalized report, and I'll also give you information about how to fix this hormonal issue. Fibroids, while we have them, will most likely grow and become more of a problem in our lives. I'm here to help you with this process. Click the link below this video to get access to this deeply discounted assessment just for you today. Thank you so much for listening in. Please share with someone you love, and I'd love to see you next time. Take care.